Hey everyone, welcome to my channel for the love of sports. Today we'll be going over the ATP tennis predictions for the Barcelona and Munich tournaments. We are on a 14-7 betting run, up over 5 units in profit. If you do want to see that spreadsheet, you can look at any of my shorts, my YouTube short videos, and you'll see the updated spreadsheet every single time I make a bet. So we're gonna have one best bet today, and I'll disclose that at the end of this video. I'll also put it in the comment below in the comment section of this video. So make sure to look at that after you finish the video. All right, let's get started. We have Munar versus Karen Khachanov in our first matchup in Barcelona. This one's kind of an interesting one. Minus 160 on Khachanov, so he is the favorite in this matchup. Khachanov has not been in good form this year. He hasn't been particularly impressive in any of his games, honestly. Any that I've watched at least. And Munar is the player that is better in this surface. I feel like Munar is clays is as close as to a clay court specialist as you can get. The ironic thing is this season he has actually been better in the hard court, which is not his game. So he's struggled a bit in the clay and he's excelled, not excelled, but he's played, a lot better in the hard court. Um, with that being said, it makes it even harder to bet this game. If Munar was just playing how he usually would be in the past, it would be an easy bet on Munar. But since he hasn't been as good in the clay, it's hard to take him, especially if Kachanov has a lot of talent. He has a big serve, a lot of power. So if he uses it right, he could take this matchup. This is honestly a toss up. Too hard for me to pick a side here, so I'm gonna lean away from this game. Next matchup we have Davidovich Fokina versus Andrei Rublev. So I have bet Davidovich Fokina. I've bet against Davidovich Fokina. Um, I've seen a lot of his matches. He's in really good form. Even the matches that he lost, like he doesn't look bad. He's been in good form. Andrei Rublev, on the other hand, has been really shaky. Um, and this is the last time I will ever consider betting him if he does not come through, as he leads the head-to-head 5-0. So, um, you know, he's gonna be a part. I'll leave a little hint that he is gonna be part of my best bet, but I think that this is Rublev's game to lose as long as he's playing well. He should take this game down. He did get killed versus Arthur Feast last tournament, but Arthur Feast, played Alcaraz really tough, and he almost took down Alcaraz. So that just tells you how good Arthur Feast has been looking. But you know, like I said, Rublev has been really shaky. Fokina has been in better form, but the head-to-head is just screaming to me. And in previous games, David Fokina has had the lead, and he just can't hold it. Whether it's his mental or Rublev just coming back and playing his strengths, it's been really hard for David Fokina to finish Rublev off. So I lean Andre Rublev, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Next, we have Alcaraz versus the Jetty. Alcaraz leads the head-to-head 1-0. This should be Alcaraz. I mean, the price is insane and minus 1400. like I don't think anybody obviously yeah, he should win this game, but I don't think anybody should be that high of a favorite. Minus 1400 is insane. So if you're feeling a little risky, I mean, the Jetty to cover the game spread, he might. I mean, he's pretty good on the clay. Obviously Alcaraz is a different beast, but the Jetty could get a couple games and hit the game spread. So maybe if you can get like plus 6.5 for like a decent price, maybe you'll be interested in that. I'm not gonna touch it personally. I've done that once against Alcaraz with Cerundolo, and Cerundolo got bageled in the second set, and he got one game in the last set. So not gonna do that against Alcaraz again, but it's not a bad idea with giving this price. Next, we have Alexei Minor versus Jacob Fernley. Kind of the same thing as the last game here. Should be de Minor. Fernley has like 3 games in the clay, so he's very new to the surface. De Minor looked pretty good in the last tournament as well, in the clay. So I definitely, I think de Minor is gonna win this game. Just can't make any bets out of this game. Just too much, on the odds. All right, then we have our next tournament. First game there is David Goffin versus Mariano Navone. I like this matchup a lot. I feel like Navone should take this down. David Goffin has not been in the best of form this year. Yes, he did beat Carlos Alcaraz, one time, but other than that, he really hasn't had too much to be happy about. Mariano Navone, 11 on 11 on the season, but clay is his forte. He's very, very, very good on the clay. And he showed that against FAA, which I had a good feeling about him taking down FAA in that game. Navone is just a guy who won't stop fighting. He'll play for every point, and it's very hard to win against him in this surface. So I will lean Mariano Navone. Next game we have Francisco Cerundolo versus Alexander Shevchenko. So Shevchenko actually beat Flavio Cobolli, which made us lose our first best bet of this tournament. Um, he looked good in that matchup. I mean, Cobolli made a lot of mistakes too, and Cobolli had several. I mean, it just felt like countless break points that he could have taken, and he just missed and missed. And I was like, and it was just also just him missing, right? Shevchenko was making good shots, but also Cobolli just missing a lot of shots. I don't think Cerundolo is going to miss the same amount of shots. I think Cerundolo should take this one pretty easily. Should be a 2-0 set spread here. I'm not going to touch it just because the price is too high. Like I said, with these big odds, it's really hard to make a play. But Cerundolo should take this down. Next, we have Zizu Bergs versus Diego Palomero. So Diego Palomero took down Chapo, which was really impressive from him. I think he was like a plus 500 dog or something like that, which is crazy. But he played well and ultimately got the W there. Good for him. But I don't think he's gonna take down Zizu Bergs. Zizu Bergs has been pretty good this season. It's been a little underrated at times, and I feel like he will win this match and maybe become a problem later on in this tournament. Next, we have Ugo Humbert versus Fabian Marosan. This could also be the match, the match of the day. Honestly, the only reason I am not betting Ugo Humbert, and I love betting Ugo Humbert. He's a great player. He's fun to watch. Um, he's dealing with a fracture in his knuckle, and he said he's been playing through that. I'm sorry. He said he's been playing through that for about a week, I believe, and I think he said the doctor said he should be out for a couple weeks. So he's playing on this fractured. It's in a splint, so it's tough to bet against this guy. He uses a two-hand backhand, so that scares me. And at any point during this game, maybe he loses the first set, and sometime in the second set, he just realizes that like he's not gonna, he doesn't feel good. He might just withdraw, and then there goes our game for the day. Um, I do think Hugo Humbert is the better player, has better talent. Fabio Marosang, we've bet him before. Um, he's good on the clay surface. That is his favorite surface. Um, Hugo Humbert is a better player though. So if Hugo Humbert was healthy, I would go Hugo Humbert 100%. But with that injury, I just can't risk it. I don't like playing risky, and you know I could see it going either way if Hugo Humbert is not 100%. All right, so now we're gonna go over our best bet for today. So our best bet for today is gonna be a two-leg parlay. We're gonna have Mariano Navone money line versus David Goffin. Kind of like I talked about this a little bit earlier, but Mariano Navone in the clay is a very tough animal. David Goffin has not been good in terms of his record this season and his form. Navone should be able to take this down. Minus 250. So we're going to parlay that with something else to get a little bit of a better price. And we're going to go back to Barcelona for this one. We're going to take Andre Rublev to take a set against Davidovich Fokina. So I didn't pick him to take the game just because, or the match, I should say, because I do think there is a possibility that Fokina does take him down for the first time. He's been in better form. He gives him a run for his money every single time they play. But Rublev is the better player when he's on his game, and I do think he'll win at least one set in this matchup, if not the match itself. So that was minus 323. Put those two together, minus 120. Pretty good price, considering all the other games on the slate. Not the best slate for me to bet, honestly. A lot of big favorites here, so it's a little tough to find value when you have a lot of big favorites. But I do like the play that I have. I feel comfortable with it. I don't like losing money, so I do feel comfortable enough to be throwing money into this game, into this parlay. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below on the video. Your best bets, what you're tailing, what you're not tailing. Comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me, and check out my posts. I try to keep consistent with the posts. Even if I'm not making a video, I'll make a little post just to say what play I'm running. But thank you guys for your time. Have a good one.